Hello, this is Kate from dailytarotgirl.com, and this is your weekly oracle card reading. And for this week's reading, I'm using a brand new deck that I just got in the mail yesterday. It's the Animal Wisdom Oracle Cards by Dr. Cara Gubbins. All right, so I'm joined by two little animals here. Got my kitty cat Henry and my girl Merlina. So their calm energy is going to be overlooking or watching over this this reading. So my intention with this reading is to get an overview of the week ahead for some ideas and inspiration. And like I said, this is the first time I've ever read with this deck, so I may be a little bit shaky with these cards, but we'll see. All right. Okay, so let's start with the first card. The first card is for Monday and Tuesday of the upcoming week. And here we've got quail. I used to see these all the time in country roads and stuff when I was out for a drive when I was a kid. I haven't seen them for a long time. Okay, so we have quail, and this card is all about devotion, spread too thin, and light and dark. All right. And I think that the key word that I'm most drawn to on this card is spread too thin. So what I'm getting as I look at this card, what I'm getting is you want to ask yourself if you're spreading yourself too thin right now. Now, this may not be in a general sense. It may be in one area of your life you're spreading yourself too thin, or it may be just in the general sense that you're just trying to do too much, trying to please everyone, and trying to make a bunch of things work, and you're really spreading yourself too thin. And there's actually nothing wrong with doing that for a short period of time. It's just that you can't maintain being spread too thin for too long. And so this is where the devotion comes in, is ask yourself what you are truly devoted to. And, are you, I ask yourself, what am I devoted to right now? What is the most important thing to me right now? And I think balance is key here, and I guess that's where the light and dark keyword comes in a way, is you want to be able to balance things out. So like I said, it's okay to be spread too thin for a short period of time. I think we all do that from time to time, but you can't maintain it. So it's eventually going to swing the other way. And so you're going to have time that's less productive in order to make up for those super productive times. And so you want to ask yourself, because balance is all about maintaining a sustainable state of being. So you want to ask yourself right now how I'm doing things, how I'm working, how I'm living. Is this a sustainable way of living and working and operating in the world that I can maintain over a period of time, or is this just a short-term thing? Now let's have a look. Oh, Henry. Let's have a look at the next card and see what's happening there. Ooh, okay, here we have butterfly. And butterfly is all about openness, optimism, and non-attachment. I love it. Okay, so openness, optimism, and non-attachment. It's almost like if you do the work at the beginning of the week of really doing some soul searching, asking yourself, am I trying to do too much here? How can I create more balance and sustainability? It's like that kind of frees you up. Once you kind of figure that out, a weight is lifted off your shoulders. There is this real free, joyful feeling with the butterfly card, and it does feel really optimistic. And interestingly, optimism and openness is something that's easier to achieve when you're not overly attached to anything. So if you're really attached to a particular outcome, or to being a certain way, or to having other people be a certain way, that really weighs you down. It stops you from being free in a lot of ways. And when you don't feel free, when you don't really feel like you can be open or be yourself, it's hard to be optimistic. I think that's when pessimism starts to kind of creep in there. So beginning of the week, I think there are going to be opportunities for you to choose optimism and choose openness. There will be opportunities for you to take a look at the things that you're attached to and the things that you are, the things, the ideas and the outcomes that you're attached to. And you'll have the opportunity to kind of loosen up around this, maybe let a few of these things go a little bit. And start to cultivate more optimism. It's very hard. I was thinking about this the other day, actually. It's very hard to cultivate optimism if you have a really fixed view of how things should be and how things need to be. So there is that link there. Now let's have a look at the next card. This is the card for the end of the week. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And here we have dragonfly, really similar to butterfly. Actually, all of these creatures have wings, and I think that's really cool. And actually, with each card, well, I would say butterfly and dragonfly are sort of probably equally lightweight, but we start with the quail, which is a heavier bird, and then we get lighter as the week progresses. So that's kind of interesting. So dragonfly is all about harmony. Life is fleeting and live your niche. And what's neat is I didn't really look at these cards at all before I did this reading. And even when I got the deck, I just opened the deck and I kind of shuffled. However, I did look at 2 cards and Dragonfly was one of them. And I read the thing and I thought, oh, that's kind of cool. I like this. I like the 3 keywords on this card. So I'm excited that this card's shown up for the weekly reading. Okay, so Dragonfly is the card for the weekend. And it has a certain kind of joyful, happy feel as the butterfly card does as well. So these 2 cards are very similar in a lot of ways. And again, this theme of harmony. Harmony it's kind of about balance. It's about acceptance. It's about living in harmony with things. And the idea that life is fleeting, live your niche. This is, again, something I was thinking about the other day, not really in these terms, but I was thinking about something that I wanted to do. And then part of my mind got in there and was like, no, you can't do that. Like, what will people think? And then I realized, like, life is short. Like, life is a temporary experience. I don't want to live my whole life being afraid of what other people will think or feeling like I can't do something because other people will think it's weird or whatever. And so this idea of sort of letting your freak flag fly and really living your niche. And I'm not really sure, I guess I'll have to think about what that phrase, live your niche, really means. But I feel like it's about accepting your uniqueness and really sort of letting that part show, expressing yourself in that way, and not getting caught up in, what are people going to think? Recognizing that life in a lot of ways is, maybe it's not short, but it is fleeting. And I think that at the end of the day, you do want to live your life as if it's your last day. I mean, maybe not totally. You don't want to blow all of your money in one day. You do kind of have to plan that life may last a while. But there is this, I love that message of kind of living each day as if it's your last, not in a reckless sense, but in an appreciation sense. Like really engaging in full sensory living, really being present and appreciating everything in a way, because when you do things, when you live your life with this idea that today is like every other day and every day is the same, I'm always doing the same things, you get into this sense of complacency and numbness. And that's totally antithetical to joy. And so if you do live your life as if, each day were your last, again, not in a, not in a reckless sense, but in a way that forces you to be more awake and present and recognize that each day is different. Every moment is fleeting and there will never be another moment exactly like this one. There may be similar moments, but there's never going to be another moment exactly like this. And people are the same. No person is exactly the same from each day to the next or each moment to the next. Every moment they're, I don't want to say every moment they're a different person because that's not true, but people, who you are right in this moment is not who you will be in the next moment or the next day. And we only really notice that when we're fully present, I think. Okay, so I'm kind of rambling here. I'm really rambling. What is the dragonfly all about? I feel like it's hard for me to read the dragonfly all on his own without looking at the butterfly because they're so similar. And I feel like this week is about taking flight. It's about finding lightness and more freedom. And that freedom, I think, is found through letting go of some of the expectations you have of yourself, not spreading yourself too thin, if you can help it, and cultivating optimism and non-attachment and really being present with what is. I feel like that's kind of the message for the week ahead. So I just want to say thank you for watching. And if you have other things you want to add, if you had different ideas or similar ideas, feel free to chime in the comment section. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these cards. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a beautiful week.